Welcome back to the journey. And on this episode, I'll be analyzing the trades that I plan to take for the coming week. Right. My previous videos I talked about, the losses that I took, and then the lessons and the mistakes, and things I should learn from, right? So yeah, but this video is gonna cover all the trades that I plan to take for this coming week. Looking at what I have, I feel like I may not take because I may not have a lot of trades to take this week. Again, that's normal, right? The goal is not to force any trade. The goal is to wait and wait and wait. Like I always say, patience is the waiting for there's nothing better than waiting for your pattern. And then when you see it, you take it without any form of like doubt, right? And that's what I'm doing. It took me a long time to learn this, but now I'm okay waiting. There was a trade that I waited for 2 months. This one, TGT. I was able to wait for this one because I know how stocks work. Stocks, they move very slow, and I was always trading on the 4 hour. Right, I was always trading on the 4 hour, so I knew that it's going to take a long time, and then it played out perfectly. From my entry to the stop loss was just perfect. So this trade really taught me the importance of waiting, right? There's nothing for me to force. If I don't see what I'm waiting for, I do other things, right? There's more to life than just staring at the charts and trying to force trades. There's definitely more to life than that. So yeah, so before I start, I'll just give a breakdown of my current trades. Right, I'm still in this one for over a week now. I think I'm officially now a swing trader. Yeah, because my trades hardly get closed within a day. Hardly. Yes, I'm still in this one. This one is still in profit. Right. So I'm using the DXY to trade this. DXY also got to a got to a major level as well. So it's probably going to react. And then so once the DXY gets to this area, this one will probably also got into my profit as well. So yeah, so just but yeah, I'm using DXY as a way to follow my USD pairs because they move alike. If DXY is selling, USD pairs are buying, right? But DXY and EU are the ones that move like very, very similar. You get very, very similar. So yeah, but all USD denominated pairs don't move alike, right? So yeah, so this one is still playing at so. But yeah, if I lose this one, that's normal. One trade is not going to make me, and one trade is not going to break me. So if this one doesn't work out, we log it, and then we see, oh, did I make a mistake, or was it just the market doing what the market does? Right. So that's it. That's it for this one. Waiting for how it's going to play out. Then I'm also in this one, USD CHF. So I learned something recently, right, which is when to enter the kind of market execution to use when I want to. Let me just leave this here. The kind of market execution to enter, the kind of market execution to use when I want to enter, a trade. Okay, let me just use the 4 hour. Let me just use the 4 hour. I think I should do this. Let me just do this. It's confusing me. So, well, yeah, as you can see, clear break, clear break, right? And then market came back to this zone untested, and then it reacted. So in my last video, I spoke about the loss that I made from this one GBPNZ, right? Where my stop loss was I even regardless of whether I used moderate stop loss because of the buying strength was so strong, so it still took me out. Well, so but moving forward, what I started doing now is if I see that the buying strength is quite strong, I wait for a break of structure, and then once price come back to retest, that's when I enter. And I think that's probably one of the second biggest change I feel I'm going to start making in my trade. The first was the journaling. But journaling has really opened my eyes to to the mistakes I'm making and all those kind of stuff, right? That was exactly what I did, right? I waited for price to do whatever it wants to do. Then, as soon as he gave me, let me zoom in. As soon as he gave me that break of structure, then I entered. So this one is still looking kind of tricky because I entered at this level, right? This level, and then but it came back to my entry. But like I said, man, I've seen my pattern. My pattern is this, right? The zone that made the new low. Price came there, tap, and then the break of structure. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see clearly. This was the break of structure here. Price came back to it. It's still respecting the trend. So and then my stop loss is this other block and it's imbalance. So that's really it. So I have two types of setup. The first one is the buy limit I'm going to use. Only when I see this price is slowing down to this to the level that that took out this low. right? And then, I'm expecting, so I can close here at the shoulder. Depending on the strength, I'll probably be using two entries from now on. I always used one previously. The first one I'll close here, and then second one, depending on the mark on the market structure, right? I can either hold it. Let me continue. I can either hold it all the way to this low. Right. But like I said, depend on the market structure. But what I've tested the most that works for me the best is, this level. This shoulder, because price is definitely going to react, once it gets once it gets here. Right. So if I get my 3 RR from this zone, then there's no need for me to really hold anymore, because there's a big chance that price might still, break. Yeah, but like this is what I've currently back tested. Right. But yeah, so we are getting better at pain tolerance, because it's not easy for me to, let's say I'm already up by like, so like $150 or 200 or whatever, or $100, and I start seeing prices coming back to my entry. Right. So this is how you build pain tolerance, right? The ability to hold your trades. Like this one now. This only came down here when I was coming back to my entry. I was already up by a lot. Yeah, but it's coming down. So I'm building my pain tolerance little by little by little. Your pain tolerance doesn't just change by one trade or two trade or three trades. It's like after like 50 trades you get. So probably getting used to that. So once I feel like once I use multiple entries, once I've made the amount I want to make from the first one, the second one I can just set break even, and then allow price to do whatever price wants to do. Right, so you can never beat up intolerance within a couple of trades. You have to get better. It's like when it's to flog us in high school. Right? You don't just learn how to chest cane just like that. They have to flog you. They have to flog you as many times before you now like like oh day or whatever. Right. So yeah, so it's all the same thing, right? You build your pain tolerance slowly, step by step, step by step, step by step. So yeah, so that was what I did for this one. That was what I did for this one. So I waited for price came, cleared out all these highs, and then, gave me that my break. I think I just let me just use it for a while. Gave me that my break, and then boom, that's it. So yeah, so those are the two trades I'm currently on. So the trades I'm looking at this week. So this one I've been waiting for this one for a very long time. For a very long time, everything here checks out. Everything here checks out. This is the shoulder, the left shoulder. This is the head. Right, and then this is the level, right? So I'm just waiting for price to get here. So it's going to take some time, so I'm not going to talk too much on this. But I've done I always start from the weekly bias, right? So this is the zone. This is the zone. This is the low, and this is the high. So it's waiting for price to get back to the zone, and then it's going to bounce up from there. The reason why I marked out this zone, because I marked out this area because price also made a new low here, right, from here. So the price is not just going to just come down straight. That's like with come back to this other block, and then before it gets here, that's if it's going to come back here. So I marked out this one because I'm currently watching it, as you can see. Right, so if I were to take this trade, I would use a buy limit, because I can see those highs. I can see those highs and those lows. High, low, high, low. Now if it comes here, I'll enter for the sell. This was where the low was taken. This is where the low was taken, right? So if price comes here, use a buy limit, and then I'll take it down here. Right, so that's it for this trade. That is really it for this trade. Is not too much analysis. I already know I already know the weekly bias, right? This is the entire weekly zone. Right, so wait for price to get. As you can see, it is untested. Price is untested, so sometimes it might not get there, but if price doesn't get here now, once it comes down here, then this is where I'm going to put my take profit. Again, so either way, price has to come back, and it has to come back and mitigate all of this, clear out all these imbalances and everything. So if it doesn't touch it now, once it comes down here, it's going to bounce up and then come here. It also correlates with this left shoulder too at the same time. As you guys know, my TP is always at the left shoulder. You get, so either way, it's still going to get here. So if it taps me in for my sell and then it comes back down, that's double win. Probably going to give me how many hours? This is 4.6. And that's more than enough. So wait for this one. So that's for the JPY, right? Everything checks out. Left shoulder, the top, the other block is there clearly. I believe so, 4 hour. The other block is there clearly. This one to the same thing. So I'm seeing my highs, my lows. Once it comes here and it taps me in, I take it down. That's it for this one. Delete this one. Yeah, another thing that I realized is that it's better for me not to use all these indicators until I map my zone. Once I mark my zone, as you can see, I marked it perfectly. Once I mark my zone, let me delete this one. Same time. Once I mark my zone, then I will now switch on the indicator because I'm trying to train my eyes. You get so that one these companies they can close any day, anytime. Okay, so imagine if I cannot now map out the other block myself. Right, that means bro, that means I'm done. So I'm just telling my younger brother, oh, learn to map your zone without using all these indicators, right? You learn to use a plain chart. There's this guy, his name is OBT. I remember when I was always using all these indicators, like when I think during my second year, I was like, "Guy, forget. These indicators, they work like mad." And he told me that one day I realized, like one day I realized that this indicator doesn't work as well as I think. Like the best way to trade is using a plain chart. And I was like, guy, forget now. He was like, one day I'm going to text him and I'll tell him that guy, I'm no longer using indicator. Last year was when I started texting him that I was like, guy, you're right. I was like, guy, you're right. So yeah, so the only indicator I'm using now is just this one, just helping map, you know, map when there's a change of structure, a break of structure, and this zone. Before I used to have like three. I used to have like three and the session indicator. Session doesn't matter that much because I wait for break of structure or I use my buy limits. But now no indicators. But then I now use it once I've mapped the zone to see if I actually mapped it correctly. Okay, so that's that for card JPY. We wait. Then all JPY to the same thing. You get new high was yeah, like I said, they all move alike. They all move alike. But if I want to enter a trade for JPY, I'm going to use just one. Right, just one trade. There's no point entering multiple JPY pairs because if something happens, that means I'm taking double loss. Whereas I'm going to select one of these, whichever one gives me the best risk to reward, that's one I'll use. But at the moment, I'm looking at this card JPY. That's what I'm looking at. So I've already explained the other one, right? So there's no need for me to talk too much on this. Like I said, this one is going to be a very strong push once you get there. So even this zone too, this is another one that I should have. Okay, this is where I should have mapped out. This is the zone. Yeah, you see why another thing because I actually did not check on the daily. This is the zone. That means I've already tapped it. Right, that is where the break came from. See, this is another good reason of always using of always doing top-down analysis. Because if I didn't use all of waiting for this one, yeah, I think price might actually get here because it didn't really. Yeah, this was where the yeah. So the different time frame is going to show you different things, right? So this was the um like this high, the median time, and this was the new high, and then this was the break. Right, so it broke before actually broke this level. So so it could be either this, it could be either this area, right, or this one. So they have multiple point of interest. But any one, like I said, I'm only going to pick one. So it could still come down a bit and then take out this and then come here. But this one is definitely come here because this is a magnet for price. This one is a magnet for price. You get so we wait. So we have 2 point of interest. Now I just have to go back and then realize which one is the one that's going to hold. This is the one that I believe. Is it still going to come back here? Right. So you might actually use this one now, come back to this level. Then once it's going back, it's going to react from here. Definitely going to react from here. As you can see, price is on a buying spree. You get so we follow the trend. We follow the trend. So these are just intermediary trades, right? Within the weekly zone. So yeah, so this is it. So the way I'm looking at it, well, I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know what price is going to do, but we'll just wait. So it could be here. Two ways for me to do it is one of them can be a crazy zone of doing something like this. Of my stop loss is really high, but then put my TP here. So this is 2.5, or I can just wait for a break of structure, then I enter. But one of these zones is definitely going to hold. But yeah, but we wait and see what price wants to do. So that's it. That's really it. Start with the weekly, go to the daily. You map your zone on the weekly, right? And then you can also use the weekly to also know where prices, where you're expecting price to go to, and then you map your zone, your take profit and your entry, and then your entry zone. So that's the same thing I did for that for card JPY, and that's how I'm going to be doing it, right? Use the weekly, start with the weekly, and now, and because that way, nothing's going to shake me out, right? Because sometimes price is never going to just go straight. Sometimes you are just looking at it's just going to go straight to your take profit. But like this one now, this Australian, you see how it has been very, very slow. So there's still a chance that it might not even get, and then just it might not even get there. I just come somewhere like here and then come and then bounce from this zone, right? So I don't know, not like the market does what the market wants to do. But the best way for you to really have that confidence, that it's a confirmation. I think bias is what they call it, right? For you to have the, I think it's yeah that the additional confirmation is knowing, forgotten the word that they use, bias confirmation, yeah, whatever the word is. But for you to be confident, I think that's it. But for you to be confident in your trade, you start with the weekly, and then you know where you're heading to, right? So that's it for this two. Right. So since I'm using the weekly, the only area I need to watch is just this one. Right. I don't need to check any of that thing because I'm using weekly means that one candle is Monday to Friday. Right. So this for instance, so this see this candle that's here, right? Let me just use this one. So you see this, let me just draw from here. So you see this candle that's here, right? It means, oh my god, it means that it lasted for a week. So each candle 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. If it was the 1 hour, so it means that one candle was for 1 week. Right? I mean, all traders probably know this, but just in case you're not a trader and then you stumble upon my video by mistake or on purpose or whatever. So yeah, gold. I'm still back testing gold. Everything has been working perfectly. It respects every single zone that I've been I mapped out. I mapped out this bar. I didn't take it because I don't trade what I'm not sure of, right? So I mapped out this zone. It never went below the stop loss, and then it came to the TV. I also mapped out this zone for an intermediary sell. Right, same thing too. I expected this one and it came back down. I mapped out this one too, and then the same thing. But the trade I'm going to take is going to be this one because I already have, I'm getting more confident in what gold does. Gold always respects all these kind of zones, right? It never gives clear breakup structure because a lot of people trade gold, right? So if gold gives you that clear breakup structure, everyone already knows what it's going to. So it's going to play around, dump, do whatever it wants to do, and then but this one is what I'm going to trade because this one is very strong. This was where the break started from. Right. I have a guy that trades. I have a guy that trades just gold. He trades only gold. Right. So yeah. So I'm expecting price to get to this zone, and then that's the trade I'm going to take. So yeah, that's it. I'm following. I know gold is going to buy for quite some time, right? You can see this zone was quite strong. So, but once it gets here, as you can see, it also correlates with this left shoulder too. Right. So yeah, so that's just double. So this is left, this is the high, and then this is the right. So once it gets here, I'll set my entry, set my stop loss. So if it is also doing, you know, what I expect, which is something like this, right? Then I'll use a buy limit. But if it's just coming without full force, no, I will just have to wait for that break and then I'll enter here. I think another way why this kind of setup is going to help me is because, let's say for instance, if I miss a trade, let's say missing by an entry, I'll just forget about it. I'll let it go. But now that I'm no longer afraid of waiting for that, well, I would say now that I don't understand how to use the smaller time frame for confirmation is really going to help me rather than just throwing some trades away. Like this trade now, there was one that was I'll get to it soon. I'll get to it soon. But yeah, so that's it for gold. Waiting for price to get here, and then once it gets there, I'll enter my trade. So yeah, but from the looks of things, I don't really see a lot of trade this week. And this one I didn't, and there's nothing for me here, so I'm probably gonna take this one down. Yeah, this is one I was about to talk about. All right, so this is the zone. price came to react. Now, on a normal, previously, the old me would have just, I would have left it, right? But now I'm like, okay, I can see clear highs, clear highs. It didn't make any high yet, right? So that means this was the previous high and this was the previous low. So once price breaks, I would say once price breaks here, I'll not be expecting it to come back here. Then I will not take it down. That's it. Like that's it. I've been waiting for years to really learn this because I never really understood. Like I would say it just was always very confusing. But now I know like if I'm using it was always confusing because I was always using like 15 minutes, 5 minutes for confirmation. But then like it can happen on the 15 minute that I'll see a break of structure. But then if I know like this, that wasn't really a clear break of structure. But if I'm using the 1 hour, I'm using the 1 hour, right? I'm able to see it clearly. But that's for me though. That's for me. You get I'm a swing trader. You get so now this is really this is I'm not going to be overconfident again because I've been overconfident before, but then, but yeah, but like this is going to be a big game change, a big change on my trading because I'll just allow this trade. I'll just forget about it. Oh, trading tap me in and then I'll let it go. But what I'll do is I'll just wait for that break of structure, wait for that retest, and then I'll take it down. So this is what I'm expecting for this trade. Once I see this break, you can see this is the clear. This is the high. This is the low. This is the high. This is the low. Now this is the intermediate high. So once it breaks here, okay, now that's a change of structure. I mean, break of structure, yeah, change of character, or whatever they call the stuff. I never really learned definition of all the stuff, but like you guys know what I'm talking about. And then once it now comes back here, then we take it down. Then we take it down. So yeah, so this is what I'm expecting, and then you guys will see how it plays out. So that's really it, man. That's really it. It looks really difficult to see. So yeah, that's really it. An efficient. This is what they call an efficient market. Price does this, right? And then goes to the next zone. That's an efficient market, right? It collects all the orders, then it goes to the next zone. So this is a consolidation zone. This is a consolidation zone, then it goes to the next level. So that's really it. Nothing really difficult. Every time I make these videos, right, I always learn something new. Something like I didn't even know before. Right. So that's one of the reasons why I'm actually making these videos. Right. So I'm going to try my best not to make them too long so that I can always come back and watch these videos. So yeah, so this is a good trade that I'm expecting, right? This is a good trade. And like I said, the price is just pushing up. Price is pushing up. It doesn't show signs of if it doesn't show those signs of slowing down, it's best to wait for that break of structure. And then once it comes back to retest, that's when I enter. You get big realization for me. Big one. Big one. So yeah. So now I'm not going to be throwing away all these trades. I'll just wait for that. If let's say like price doesn't tap me in with my buy limit, instead of me just sitting down and feeling bad, I'll just wait for that break of structure and then re-enter the trade. And I even feel like I'll probably get a bigger weeks to reward because my stop loss is going to be the recent high rather than the overall high. Like this one now, let's say this is the other block the price comes back to, right? So and then I enter here, I enter at this level for my stop loss, something like here. Because that's already broken this level from here, right? So this is it. So this is really it. Well, let's say I place down, then my stop loss is going to be something like here. 6. Wow. 6. Hmm. Okay. Shit, my stomach. Shit. Okay. So let's see. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm just waiting to see how price plays out. Where my TP is going to be anywhere around here. Anywhere around there. I think this is going to be more than enough. It's going to be more than enough. So yeah, we'll see how this one plays out, and you guys know. Next pair, this one still quite far. Like I said, we start from the weekly. We map the zone. So this was the recent. This is the zone that we're trading from. But that's the weekly. The price has been bullish since forever, right? So we follow the trend, and then we map the zone. We mark the zone, wait for price to come down here, and then we take it to the left shoulder. I can see, I can see it clearly. They already mitigated this other block here, right? So it's definitely going to react from this. If it was like another thing, if it was like, let's say you went like, if it was like a curve, if it was like a curve, then that's when price actually take this out. That's what I realized though. Whenever it's a curve, like this one, I don't know how I came, why I came to that. This is, if it's like a curve, right? That's when price actually take it out. And but if it's sharp, then it goes the right direction. So yeah, so this one is straight up and then it's coming back down. So we wait. I'll wait for this one. I'm not going to take this one because another thing I realized is once it's like three different zones, it always moves, it always takes out this one. Almost always. Almost always, yeah. So that's what I realized. So this is I believe this is like there's premium, there's discount, and then there is what's the last one? Um There's premium discount equilibrium. So premium is like, so let's say if this is a 3 zone, right? So premium will be here. I'll be equilibrium is more like in the middle. Then these are like discount zones, right? These are like discount zones. So I always buy or sell from the either premium or the discount. I never sell from the middle, which is the equilibrium, right? So I wait for price to take out liquidity from here, and then it bounces up from the zone. So that's really it for this one. So once price gets closer to this, I will do another video on that. So, but yeah, remember, once you see this curve like this curve, price takes out this, price will take out, to probably look something, not like that. Probably look something, ah, probably look something like this, right? So price is going to take out this one, then come to this one, and then it bounces up. That's what I've seen this so many times. So many times, this curve takes out this curve and then it goes. So, so yeah, wait for this one. Then GJ, okay, I don't need to talk about this now because it's still so far. UNZD. Yeah, this one I missed this trade. I think I missed this trade. Yeah, but like now this is not my trade. You get because the zone is no longer. I mean, it's probably going to react. You get, but like I don't think I'm going to take this one. I'll probably just wait for the other. This one is more of my trade, right? Because this one is more of my trade than this one. But yeah, but I'll just wait and see how if it does come back up to that zone. Yeah, this one is gonna. I won't be confident in this trade. I won't be confident in this trade. So any trade that I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, I don't know why I'm in this trade. I don't take this kind of trades. I don't take this kind of trades. So yeah, so this one is not gonna be anymore. But yeah, that's really it. All these ones are what I'm watching. These ones that I've already marked. This one. Oh, I didn't take this one because I wasn't. This one I'm still waiting for that break of structure. Like I said, when price is just pushing up, when price is pushing up, we'll wait for that break. Now I don't know where to enter this trade because I could enter if I see another drop. Let's say I see price drops down and then it comes back up, then I can trade it from this place. But my stop loss might be quiet because it never really got. Okay, it did come to the top. Okay, my stop loss would be like this, and then my TP will be something like here. So yeah, because I have to be very careful on what a breakup structure is, because if I don't see this is a clear breakup structure, right? So price does this, breaks this low, and then it comes back. So this is the easiest way of seeing what the breakup structure is. And then sometimes it might just go like this, but it has to be on another zone, like on a level that is coming back to. Okay, this is another type. That's if like it's coming somewhere like this. If there's a zone here, please forgive me for my drawings. Forgive me for my drawings. But yeah, so this one I might not be able to. This is what I'm used to. Right? This type of breakup structure that I'm used to. A clear breakup structure that I have no doubt. If I see this on the 1 hour, I will wake up in the middle of the night and then I check my phone. I'm able to. So if what I'm hoping to see is something like this. Hoping to something like this, and then price does this, and then it comes here, and then I take it down. This is what I would love to see, right? Because I'll be more confident. I'll be more confident in a trade like this. right? Because that confidence really matters. Not the one that oh now, let's say price is not coming back up, I'll be like, oh, I should close. So this is what I hope to see. This is what I really hope to see. We are trading once now that I have the two types of trades I've entering trades, I won't be losing trades anymore. I won't say not I won't be throwing away, potential good trades anymore. Right? Because before I was always using buy limits. But now I know when to use break of structure, which is on the 1 hour. If I see a clear break of structure on the 1 hour, then I use that. Then I use that. So yeah, man, that's it for me for guys. That's it for me guys today. I mean that is it from me today, guys. I'm still getting used to this YouTube stuff. Um, but yeah, man. So you guys have your criteria that you follow, right? So for me, my own criteria is if I see a sudden push, I don't enter with buy limits. I wait for a break of structure, then I enter. If I see that price is making higher highs, higher lows, intermediary, then I use the buy limit. That's one. The other one is I wait to see a clear break of a clear break of structure, a clear sweep of liquidity, and a clear shoulder, and price comes here. Apart from that, I make sure that like other pairs are also in correlation. If GBP, if they're all buying with full force, I wait, right? But if they're all moving like, at a normal pace, then I know, okay, I'm following the trend. Another thing to also follow the trend, start from the weekly, get your bias, start from the weekly, get your bias, so that you know, okay, this is where I should put my take profit, this is where I should put my stop loss. I mean, you don't really need the weekly to know where your stop loss is, but why to know the direction even in life, like you have to know the direction that you're following. You have to see the big picture. Don't just be, don't just focus on what's going on recently, right? See the big picture, know where you're going, and that's the weekly time frame, right? The weekly time frame is to see where you're going overall, so you know where to set your stop loss. Now, this is so if I'm not able to enter this trade, but one thing I know is that it's coming back to this red candle. This is the order block and the imbalance or whatever. It's coming back to this red candle. Right? So use the weekly time frame, see the big picture. If you're using the 15 minutes, you should use the 4 hour. If you're entering from the 1 hour, start with the weekly. Right? It doesn't matter. Just make sure like you're 4 steps ahead of what you're using as your entry criteria. So that's really it for me today. Trading is not simple, trading is not difficult. Trading is how you if you think that trading is easy, eventually it's going to become easy for you. If you think that trading is I won't use the word easy. I think simple and easy are probably like two different meanings. But yeah, but one thing I know is that trading is not difficult. If you spend hours learning, you're on the charts, you understand, you've back tested your strategy, you've seen this play out so many times, and then you'll be more confident. Exactly. So it's not easy, it's not difficult. It's just like I said, they always say is probability, right? You can never be attached to any one trade. Never be attached to anyone. Never be attached even to the outcome, right? So I'm still working on that detachment from each trade because sometimes once I'm in profit, I'll be like, nah, I figured it out. But now I'm getting to live in that uncertainty zone, and that's really how you start to see those start to see your profits compound. Yeah, but once I start to believe that, oh, I figured this out, nah, that's the same exact period that life would test me. I'm like, oh, so you think you figured this out now? Let's see what happens once you lose like 7 trades in a row. Another thing is like those losses will come, right? So those losses will come. Before I used to doubt my strategy whenever I have like 6 losses in a row. And then if I knew it, I'll have 5 straight wins. I'll be like, oh, so this thing works. Then another 5 losses. But now that I watched the video, the guy really explained it cleanly. 6, 7, 8 losses in a row is normal. It is very normal. The best in the world, they also have those losing streak. Yeah, but once you're already convinced that oh this thing works, right? So you just have to keep going, keep pushing and keep moving forward. One step at a time. One step at a time. So like I always do on my um at the end of my at the end of my videos, I always read a page from my book. Not I didn't write the book, but like from the book I always read on a daily basis. It's called God Will Make a Way. Right. So I don't know who's reading my videos. I don't know who's watching my videos. I don't watch my videos, but like it could be someone who needs some little form of motivation. Right. So, but yeah, just want to read this so that everyone will also come to realize that everything is truly going to work out. Right. You just have to convince yourself every single day that there's truly, truly nothing to worry about. There was I believe I wrote it down on my phone. The line is, one moment. When you become comfortable with uncertainty, infinite possibilities open up in your life. Well, so if you're open to knowing that, like, you don't know exactly where it is you're going, but then you just believe that, oh, everything's going to work out for me, right? You have no fear, no doubts, or whatever. You get to see more and more opportunities. So, and that's why, like, I'm trying to live my life, right? So, I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't know what's going to happen next year. One thing I know is all the goals I've written down, all my plans, everything is going to work out for me. Everything is going to work out for everyone, all my family, my friends, every single person. Right? All we just have to do is take actions. That's that's really it. So yeah, I believe I stopped at page 5 the last time. Um, So this says, God knows how you're feeling and wants you to let go and trust. Your journey is different because God has called you to carry a purpose only you can fulfill. You don't have to compare anymore. You don't have to be hard on yourself anymore. And you don't have to feel bad about anything. You've been through a lot, you are doing amazing, and God is so proud of you for having the courage to be yourself in a world that's constantly trying to make you something else. God has so many miracles on the way for you. So just breathe and remember that grace is all around you. You get, that's really it, man. No, no two same people have the same, can have, what would they say that thing? Have the same journey, right? Like I always use that my treadmill example, which is when you go to the gym, see someone is already on 10. Once you jump in, you can never jump in on 10. You have to start, step by step. Right. So never compare yourself to anybody else. Right. You are on your own journey. This is my own journey. This is what I believe is going to work for me. And I'm going to take it one step at a time. I'm going to take it one step at a time. So that's it for me today, guys. This was yeah, quite long, 37 minutes. So yeah, man, like and subscribe and follow me for my journey. We are all going to make it. That's for sure. That is for sure. Take care, everyone.